Hi guys. As you can see in the title, I have seen something that nobody actually noticed, and I also showed the clip to Tommy. Although it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And actually in the last fight, Tyson Fury against Usyk, Usyk actually did in that one particular scene straight lead, okay? It wasn't a boxing jab, it was actual straight lead. And I'm gonna explain how straight lead actually works compared to the jab. Well, it's basing down to body mechanics. That's the clip I'm talking about. So now you can watch it here. And you basically see how he punched with his lead hand from the distance, and he did actually a true push shuffle, pushing with the rear leg. He stepped forward into the target, right? So, which means you actually hit the target, but before you land. In the clip, it looks like he actually landed, his step landed second. It wasn't quite hand before foot, but hand before foot is not as much as important in this situation because he was pretty fast, and his opponent, he had like his guard up, so like something like this. If I remember right, he's smaller, right? You have to remember, because he is smaller, the guy was bigger, so imagine the hand is here, and the guard is like there, and he punched right between the guard. Like most boxers, they open in the middle, so they're actually vulnerable to get punched here, and he got really good through, and you can see how he pushed through the target. It wasn't a knockout though, but this was a pretty hard punch, you can clearly see that. Even though it wasn't hand before foot, it was fast enough, so Tyson couldn't see actually him coming in and couldn't avoid or evade getting punched. So what is the straight lead? So the straight lead is a power punch, if you want so. Contrary to boxing jab, which boxing jab is actually more like to prepare for power punches, the straight lead is meant as a power punch. So the idea Bruce had with that is, if I can punch the guy with the jab and I can touch him with this technique and more frequently than with any other punch, why not make actually that punch as powerful as possible? The straight lead works with the footwork, so without the footwork there's no straight lead. The important thing is that you have your weight forward, then into target, okay, and you actually push with your leg. And you can see how Usyk actually pushed with his leg, okay, he pushed with his leg like this, his heel was up, he stepped in, and he pushed with the leg when he punched. So when you push with your leg, okay, you make sure that you accelerate your body towards the target, and the hand expands then into the target, and all this energy comes through the leg, right, through the body, and then through the arm, through the hand, then into the target, okay? What you also then do, you rotate your body at the last moment possible also into the target, so that this rotation, right, also adds to the power. And the idea is going from here, and then you punch through the target. Instead of not using the step and just being in the distance and punch just more like with the hand. Disadvantage of the jab is you cannot cover as much distance. When you use the lead punch, I can actually punch from this distance. For most people, this is not a punching distance, this is a kicking distance, okay? But from here, I can actually punch him. If I would use the jab without the step, I would have to stand this close, but if I'm this close, he can punch me as well. That's the thing, okay? So if you can keep the distance, then you can use your footwork to step in, to shorten that distance while you actually attack. That's the benefit. If your opponent has never learned to punch like this, you have a huge advantage compared to him. You can punch him from the distance where he actually can punch you. And that's the idea Bruce had. When you look from this side, right, so the leg pushes, this leg pushes, okay, and this leg steps in. And this is actually what he did, which was really, really interesting to me to see this footwork and this body mechanics from a boxer, but usually you don't see this from them. Either they are flat-footed, they just step like this, they don't really push with the rear leg, and then also they land like here most of the times. You can see Usyk actually landed with the heel, which did amaze me when I saw that clip. He pushed, okay, he pushed with the rear leg correctly, and he landed with the heel. I think he connected slightly earlier with the punch before he landed, or it was at the same time. Couldn't really see because I think Tyson's leg was covering his leg, so you couldn't really see it from this angle. Was this actually a coincidence, ask, or did anybody talk you that? If it was not a coincidence, where did he pick this up? He was so much smaller than Tyson, and he did punched him. Sometimes you can read in the comment section of our clips, people say, oh, well, if you're smaller, then this wouldn't work against a bigger person. Well, you can see it. It worked against a bigger person. And it has to be then somebody in the professional business who does it, so the people believe actually that, okay? Because this type of punch is a huge benefit. People should actually learn that, how to punch a correct straight lead with the push shuffle, how do you step, how do you actually use your hand, how do you rotate the body to maximize the power, because you can do all of these things you can do actually wrong and sabotage your own punch. Okay guys, thanks for watching, see you next time.